I'm going to show you some of the problems that I think we have with the outside bays. So about 6 years ago, we totally rebuilt this whole, from this trim line right here, this trim line, all the way down. We totally rebuilt that. And all it is 2x2 square tubing to make compartments, and they were rotting out. And so we beefed up the 2x2 square tubing. We encapsulated in that POR 15 stuff, that black restores rust inhibitor, but it just didn't work. And we redesigned the doors because they were really cheap, and we made these bay doors in the bus style. Well, these bays are rotting out again. And evidently, the way we made the doors didn't hold the water out completely and make them airtight. This one's open. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but you could see it. It's just, this is where we use gas grill propane bottles. We use 6 of them instead of a big RV style propane tank, because when we're at the races, it's easy to get someone to go help us go to Walmart and do exchanges. And we had 6 of them, so we didn't hardly use them, or we didn't run out very often, and we could round robin them. But you can see there, I mean, this whole bay, it's all rotted out again, despite the fact that we redid it. You can see the rust. So I would redo that. Brand new tires, brand new, probably only, I don't know, maybe 2,000 miles on these tires, all around, 10 brand new, $6,000 worth of tires. This bay obviously fell through. Now this bay we had tire chains and a bunch of tools in, but nonetheless, this is where this bay got the most abuse from the road crime because of the rear tires, and it's totally rotted out. So it's gonna need to be redone. It does have the lift on the back, 1,600 pound aluminum platform lift. Haven't used that in a number of years. There's no reason why it shouldn't work, but in the past we've had a couple little issues with it, and it's usually connections from water, dripping down where the connections are. So it's probably electrical if it doesn't work right now, but we haven't tried it because we never use it. It's got an 8,000 kilowatt PowerTech generator, way, way, way better than Onan's. The belt is serviceable. Everything about this generator is really cool. And it's got, let's see how many hours. I can't read that because of my 6,000. I don't have my glasses. Anyway, I'll post how many hours the generator's got on it because I've got pictures of it. But this bay needs some attention too. Right there, I don't know if you see that. That's all rotten right there. That's all stuff that we replaced, and that's all needs to be pulled out. And this whole side, actually, where the Pirelli sticker is, probably needs to be replaced as well, because this is where the pivot for the bay door gets welded onto, and there's nothing there to weld another pivot for the bay door onto. So while I'm thinking about it, I would go ahead and replace the supports for this generator because it weighs about 400 or 500 pounds at least, and I wouldn't want that. If that kind of rust and corrosion was happening up there, then I surely wouldn't want that generator to fall out on the ground and kill somebody. This bay right here is what we affectionately call the poop bay. It's where the sewage and sewage tanks are, where your dump valves are, and it also houses 3 brand new Coach batteries, $175 deep cycle marine batteries, and those were replaced yesterday. The rust in here isn't that bad other than the seal all the way around the door, and that pile of rust right there was from the 2-inch angle that I used to hold the batteries in. But since it shares a bay and has that hole right there with the sewer, you know, I would, if I were to keep this, I would put a wall right there and separate, you know, just have enough room to be able to get to my valves and separate that from the batteries and the electrical there. There's an electrical outlet there too. It runs off either shore power or the battery or the generator. That bay right there is in really good shape. So I didn't open it, especially because I got the slide out. But that's a brand new awning on the slide out, and the slide out's like a 13-foot slide. Here's the big problem of the whole coach. It's the reason why we just can't invest any more money into it. The people that built this coach, Powerhouse Conversions, built the box onto the cab. Okay, they attached it. The roof, inside roof of the cab, is the bottom of the over cab bunk, and this cab flexes and moves. It's on struts. So why they did that, I'll never know, because it's broken, and that makeshift seal that we put up there right there was to shield air and water and cold from coming out of it or into the cab, but that has expired in its value. It no longer works, and the cab has moved so much that it's broken that seal around there, and water gets in. And when you're going down the road from the inside, you can see air out. So if I were to keep it, there's some struts under this cab, and and bushings, and I would replace those. And then I would go in and I would cut that right there. I would attempt to put a gap similar to like this one. This is our new coach. It's a 2001, so it's not very new. But see how there's a gap where the cab is separated with a little accordion rubber grommet? The cab is totally separate from the box. The box doesn't move, but the cab does, because the cab's on suspension. And that's what's wrong with this right here. I would attempt to cut all that back and cut that down. And I mean, that's a big job. I don't envy the person that's going to do it. But where you can see that seam right underneath the SSI Decals logo, that's where the 2x2 square tubing is that makes up that structure right there. I would cut that out and basically just put another one above where that is and make that line the line that separates the cab from the bed up there. And I would then, the hard part's going to be how do you actually fabricate some sort of roof for the cab with just that little bit of room. You could go in and just cut that whole, you could cut that whole front off if you wanted to and rebuild it, and then you'd have access to putting a roof over the cab. But whew, that's a lot of work, and that would compromise your brand new one-piece roof that we did. So that's it on the coach. A lot of miles, but a lot of life left in her, and would make a good coach for somebody. To keep up with Team Faith, be sure and like us on Facebook, follow us on our Instagram page, and like and subscribe our YouTube channel.